Excuse me, I don't have now I have a microphone. All right, let's try that again, huh? Mariette's first this time. I was just reading her comment from my phone because I can't see it on this right now for some reason until I go live. A lot of times it won't show up. So she's first, and she says that she has heavy symptoms right now: short breath, dizzy, lower back pain, hungry but no appetite, pain sensation around my heart, and mental, more anxiety. There's a lot of this going around right now. There's a lot happening energetically. Okay, so let's hurry and get into that before I get to. Um, we have first of all we have a big solar flare. Yeah, Cosmic Detective thought it was me. Yeah, it was me. My microphone was over there, um, and not on. Um, okay, so this X class 4.54, I think it's cool. Anything with a palindrome is I pay attention to. It's one of those things that with me and spirit little agreement. So, um, anyway, this a palindrome is if it, the front and the back and the middle are it's read the same forward and backward. Anyway, this particular CME solar flares, they were thinking it would be here on Thursday, and no, they're looking at probably tomorrow. So this CME is going to be pretty big. It's a big giant one. It was coming off the eastern limb. However, it still is earth facing enough that we're going to get a pretty good sized impact. They're saying that it's going to be a G3 geomagnetic, but based on what I looked at, I was just looking at the different, images where it was observed when it was leaving the sun. It's a pretty big chunk. So I'll bet it's going to be more like a G5. You know what I mean? Like, I'll bet there's other people saying the same thing. It seems that lately they have been downplaying. Whoever it is that's reporting these, whoever has these websites that are making this information, and that's okay, So they're diminishing it. That we're expecting this to happen. However, this is really an important point to consider. We're really close to the equinox. Today is Sunday, and on this side of the calendar, or hemisphere, but no matter where you are, a week from today is the equinox. It's the fall equinox for the northern hemisphere, and the spring equinox for the southern hemisphere. And so during the equinox and time frame, our alignment, see, normal off an alignment, there's a thing called oh goodness, I don't remember, Russell McFerrin, I think is what it's called. It's these people in the 70s, these scientists figured it out that we're off alignment, and so due to this misalignment, when it doesn't have a direct impact as often. This, though, is different during the equinox period, whether it's the whatever time of year it is for us. So the other equinox that we have for the northern hemisphere is the spring equinox, and the southern hemisphere is the fall equinox, is also true for that. Anyway, because that's only a week away, the energies that are coming from the sun are more direct impact. And therefore, it's pretty exciting, this energy that's going to be coming in. On top of that, we have a lot of stuff happening in our galactic calendar. So today's the 15th, though in 2 days, we're going to have not only the full moon, it's a super full moon, it's the harvest moon that's also the second of the 4 super moons in a row, and it's the biggest one of all of them, and it's a lunar eclipse for those of us in the northern hemisphere. And so there's just a lot of stuff happening with that. The comet that's I don't have the ability to make my tongue pronounce the way that it's the word. It's a Cantonese word, but it means Purple Mountain Atlantis. This is starting to already impact us energetically as well. Okay, there's a lot of stuff happening in the galactic calendar. So I just kind of wanted to point all that out. Has a lot to do with the increase in ascension symptom experience. And so going back to Mariette's comment earlier that I'm not able to grab because it was before I came on live. The lower back pain, a lot of people are having more of this. The weird appetite. Man, my appetite has been so insane. I cannot keep track. The the lack of appetite, the feeling hungry is what I've recently been doing. I've been like wanting something, but nothing sounds good, right? And then having a lot of really weird fleeting energy coming in. She had mentioned anxiety and different emotional burdens and stuff like that. This is something I've been having too. It just like it's fleeting. It seems like it's fluttering through. Remember that when we have these emotional bodies move through, they're not meant for us to grab onto and to say, stay here forever, my precious. We're saying, okay, I acknowledged you. I understand. This is what I need to feel right now. And we don't need to understand why. I know that's hard. That was really hard for me to grasp that because I came from the same kind of background that most of us have, is this idea that we're supposed to like dissect it and figure it out and stuff like that. And when we do that, we're judging it. And to judge something is to hold it in place. This is Archangel Michael who had said this. When we judge something, we hold it in place. We then become the captor, the prisoner of this emotional body. And this emotional body can sit in and stay and hang out with us for quite some time, decades. You know what I mean? And I'm not to say that if we don't feel it right now that it's going to do that. It's that until we feel it, it will stay. You know, so as these anxiety moments come in, as these mournful moments, as these a lot of global mourning sensation. This is something I've heard a lot of people talking about recently. Remember, we're not just seeing the mourning of others and those who are departing at this time. We are in the middle of the mass exit, and there are many who are in alignment with us who are leaving, and some of them that's also their ascension experience. For us, that's not the case. We are feeling it though. We're feeling that this global grief, and then there's the other side too. There's that we're grieving for ourselves, grieving who we were and who we've been for quite some time, however sucky it might have been to be in the energy we had been staying in. This was an energy we had been in for, lifetimes and lifetimes, not just this lifetime. Many people who are here have been in the incarnation cycle, the incarnation loop for 26,000 years. That's a long time. It's a long time to be doing the same thing. And so as we're leaving, as we're going and moving and leaving behind those energies that we had become familiar with, however unpleasant, it still is a place of mourning and loss, of you're saying goodbye to what you know and what you have known, so allow yourself to weep and to mourn. You don't need to understand it. You know what I mean? We don't need to see what box it fits in, and does it fit in the square hole or the round hole kind of thing. It just is. Thank you. I always say thank you to it, and I experience it, and then I give it permission to go, and it does. So keeping this in mind really helps a lot of the time. We don't always realize that we're keeping energy here, that it doesn't really want to be here. I mean, it wants to be here because we seem to need it there. There's a loyalty that's kind of a really fascinating, complex experience. Cosmic Detective, yes, global mourning, 100%. Yeah, a lot of people have been sensing this and having this experience. And then one more thing that Marriott had mentioned was the palpitations, the heart palpitations. A lot of people are having this heart palpitations, pains or aches around the heart. If for any reason you feel guided to, please see if your physician. This is not medical advice. However, many of us are having this experience. Many people are having these heart palpitations, especially during these energy flux moments. Now, yesterday through the night, we were already feeling this solar flare. And for almost a whole week, we've been in a geomagnetic storm. It's been going like this, but we've been in a geomagnetic storm. It's probably been about a week that a lot of us have felt more unstable than usual, so just keeping that in mind, that you're not alone with this. And the dizziness. The dizziness stuff has been something I've been feeling a lot more too. And it's slight dizziness, to describe it. Um, but it's like disorientation, dizziness, and lightheadedness combined, but just slightly on each aspect, almost a vertigo-y kind of thing, where you're not sure where gravity is, you know. I'm noticing this happens every time that we have another shift up, and sometimes the shift is a hair, it's not like an entire step on a staircase, and so it's sometimes more subtle than other times, though I have been noticing it more lately than I had before. Um, and so Carmen, he says, nah, 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 I'm always first. Love you, Pamela. Greetings to Madison. Oh, thanks, Carmen. Good to see you, brother. Um, let's see if there's any more questions. I was amongst many trees today, says Cosmic Detective. The energy was super floaty and I felt dizzy and like I was in another planet. Surreal, rapid heartbeats and kind of lost. Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. The trees, the stuff with the trees, man. It's if you can get out into nature right now, especially, like Guardian's been saying lately, hurry and get out into nature while you can, while it's still warm. If you get a chance, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Pardon me. Um, and getting out into this higher frequency place where you're around the trees, where you're in nature, you can find that it's a lot easier to ground, to stabilize. And yeah, we feel super duper floaty when we're there. When we're there, we're leaving behind all of the energies that are pulling us down, as much. And earlier I had mentioned that many people had been incarnating for 26,000 years. This is a galactic year. There have been 3 of them. This is the 3rd one. And each of the year is the time of ascension. It's a very wide, broad window, and meaning many years in this space. However, we're here again. And this particular comment that I had mentioned very briefly earlier, the translation means Purple Mountain Atlantis. We'll be able to start to see it in the heavens in the next couple of days, though it's going to be super duper duper bright for us in the northern hemisphere starting on the 10th of October. However, it's already here, right? It's here. When the comet's coming, a lot of the conversation I had with Elsa and stuff, many of you will remember we have had these discussions, is that we call these to us, these heavenly bodies to us. And as they're coming to us, then they activate us in ways that we don't typically find activation. And so this particular one it won't be here again for another 26,000 years. So this is visiting us from the time of Atlantis, the fall of Atlantis, and so the last galactic year, which I find to be very, so Carolina says, hello, soul family. Hello. Good to see you. She heard this too. Yeah. It's some pretty crazy stuff coming in right now. Lynn says, morning, beautiful Mila. Much love from New Zealand. So flares and lycos, lovely upgrades. Yeah. So we're already feeling the solar flare, even though it's not going to make impact until tomorrow. It's still already here, and it doesn't matter where we are on the planet, whether we're on the sun side or the not sun side, it goes through and envelops the entirety of the planet. Though the point of impact has been noticeable, tends to be in the Pacific almost every time lately. Fascinating, because this is the prophecy, the Lakota prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors, the Rainbow Tribe. Well, a lot of people have heard about this. The times of us coming back to this now moment where we're all awakening, we're all returning to honoring Mother Earth, and it's a rainbow because it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is or the background or whatever. We all stand hand in hand, as brothers and sisters of Gaia, and this has been prophesized for a long time. The tail marker of it being that a white buffalo calf was to be born on the Lakota reservation, and that happened in 1997. I already forgot. I think it was 94, but I want to say 94, but for some reason 97 came to mind. So Anyhow, and ever since there's been another one, more and more born this way. And then we'll see also the different animals that are these white, the albino appearance. These animals, the deer, we're even finding that when you see it in like the elephants, or often in like sea mammals like dolphins and stuff, they actually look pink. But this is the sign that we're here. The There are many parts of this prophecy. If you're interested and you want to look into it, there's a lot of information about it. They couldn't talk about it until that white calf buffalo was born. However, once it was, then they started to be able to speak out about it. So if you look up the white calf buffalo woman prophecy, you'll be able to find this whole story. Anyway, the end of the story is that the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Mu shall rise again. Mu has also been called or named Lumeria. This is a civilization that existed around the same time as Atlantis. I say that because they kind of were first, and it doesn't mean that they're better or anything like this, but this is they were present, and as a result of their presence, then Atlantis became into being. Anyhow, Atlantis, or Lumeria, going under was kind of like the fall of civilization, spiritually speaking, and that's when we went into the times of darkness, right? Well, here we are, and the sun is weeping into the other ocean. It's weeping almost consistently every time into the Pacific. So I think this is super awesome. Anyway, let's get back to your questions. Path 88 says the galactic children are coming through a lot recently. Last night I was told I was a steward of the frequency. Oh, that's beautiful. The galactic children too. Yeah, there's a lot of visitation happening for people right now. Whether we do it in a conscious way, we're aware of it, or not, we're still having it. You know, a lot of us are having these correspondence, whether it's just a distant telepathic conversation, or a vague recollection of something that had occurred while you were sleeping, or it was very, very real, you know, meaning that you were able to retain the bulk of the memory of the conversation. Hello, Mick. Good to see you. Cosmic Detective, I have to go to the grocery store every day to satisfy my weird cravings. It's really weird. Like there's, and in our bodies, it's like they're looking for minerals and vitamins that we don't typically eat, and so it's looking for something. I know that something else is happening too, is that we're having a mass, hi Kenny, having a mass purging of a lot of different things, parasites and toxins, which are considered to be the same thing. Not everything is a toxin for everyone too. So like something that is beneficial to one individual may not be to another. If it's not in harmony with you, then it will no longer be considered good. So therefore it's then considered a toxin. I did a conversation with Guardian and Yolanda Marie on Wednesday. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to go back and watch that. Near the end, we did address some of these different homeopathic home remedy versions, ways of purging these parasites. Parasites are things that our bodies always had, and we always needed to purge. There was always ways to do it. We did it regularly, and then these book burnings, the books disappeared. They became not as available. And so there's some really easy tips and tricks and ways to do it, things that you have in your pantry right now, likely, you know. So go back and look at some of that if you'd like. And also you can ask each other in the chat. There's some really good things to do here, and I really strongly encourage that you do. Of course, everybody understands the power of the dandelion root, specifically the root, you know, so that's really what I'm leaning heavily on. And thyme is really awesome. There's just so much. There's so much. Parsley and just everything. So just if you go back and watch that, you'll get a lot, and do basic Google search too. Yep, been here before, says Cosmic Detective. Yeah, here we go again. And now we're here. Now we're in this awakening place. And finally, right? And a galactic year, if you consider, they call 26,000 years galactic year, that makes sense why coming into a single life does seem like one just snapping of the fingers, right? Because that's their year is 26,000 for us. There's something about the slowing down of time to make the experiment work. I remember something very vaguely about that. Hi, everyone. Ellen here from Raleigh, North Carolina. Awesome. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Ambulances flying through my town. Yeah. The global exit, mass exit. That this has been underway for some time, though it's picking up pace lately. A lot of us are saying goodbye to loved ones. Those that we already knew that they were going to go typically before the ascension process was to be complete. However, it still is very difficult to say goodbye, and so however it's coming through, whether it's someone or just an emotion that's moving through, allow yourself to feel it is my encouragement here. If we don't feel it, then we can't heal it. And then it just sticks around for a really long time. It takes residence. Animate success. Hi, this is Becky, by the way. Love you. Good to see you, Becky. Welcome. Bella, the trees are healers. They are. And, there's a lot to this of the tree huggers, right? We hear about the tree huggers, the people who go into the forest and connect with the trees. If you give it some time, I would say most people give up a little early. They give up a little bit early, and they're like, impatient. And what I mean by that is when you feel like, oh, this isn't working, stay and do it a little longer. And also I encourage you not to have that thought, because when we speak against something, then we're choosing, and it says, okay, we turn it off. So having belief in anything that we're doing will make it more awesome and longer, have a longer impact. However, connecting with the trees, touching physically with your skin. So with your hands, lots of times I'll put my feet on the roots of a tree, and you'll feel, and then I'll also put my hand on it while I'm doing it typically too. And you'll feel very, very slow energy moving into and through you. They communicate, they talk to us. It's crazy. The hippies were right, man. So, and there's so much that we get from it. Like we get this balance, and we get just this calm and just all of this really amazing stuff from these trees. So if you get the chance to do it, I would really encourage that you do. Also, there's during this full moon that we're having on Tuesday / Wednesday, because this lunar eclipse starts at 7:41 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, depending on where you are in the Pacific time zone, I assume that the sun will be up too much to be able to see that early stage of it. However, it will go until, for my time zone again, Central Standard Time, is going to go till 11:40 something. I wrote it down, 11:47 p.m. So just before midnight. And so I would strongly encourage anybody who has stones to be cleaned or cleared to put them out in the moonlight during this time, especially. The tree brought this up because also we can bury our stones if we don't have access, if it's just too cloudy or smoky or something. You can bury your stones, especially close to a tree. If you have a tree nearby to bury it next to, it's really cool how much it heals these, cleanses and clears these crystals. It's really neat. Hi, Janet. Every night. Yes. Mila, dreams unbelievably lucid. Yeah, dude. Sleep continuous disruptions. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. It's like all the time now, right? I cannot believe the amount of messages that were coming. They're coming through the dreams at this time. Yes, the dreams, lucid. And I'm being abruptly awoken often too. They explain that the reason for being woken up during the depths of our dreams is to assist us in more precise recollection of the message therein. Meaning, that when we are brought into awakening during a message, we have a better chance of recalling that. And that's why, which is, it's good to know, but it's also annoying because you want to sleep. It's like, I'm tired. Oops, I clicked something wrong. Okay, here we go. Hi, Barrett. Love from Bulgaria. Did I say your name right? But I don't. If you sometimes, my tongue doesn't want to bend. So I hope I said your name right. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Lumeria Rising. That's right. Cosmic Detective. The X flare yesterday was a doozy, but my reaction to it was different. That my upgrade. Right there. Awesome. Yeah, we are that X flare that came in. So it was an X 4.54 that we got yesterday. The impact of it on the earth in a physical way, because you get the energy that we feel immediately. We all felt it immediately. We're already in a geostorm at that time. We've been for a week. We just been subsided from this geostorm. We've been kind of going up and down through the different stages of it. And then now tomorrow it's going to make impact in a physical way again for this. So that the actual plasma is going to make impact tomorrow. Likely, that's what they're expecting. They're also saying it's only going to be a G3 geomagnetic storm, though I'm expecting it to be quite a bit more than that. We are in the equinox period, and during that, the Russell McFerrin theory or explanation is that during the time of the equinoxes, the sun and the earth are more in alignment, so it's a more direct impact. So, I don't know if they're remembering to use that as in their assessment of what the geomagnetic storm is going to be. So Megalo, the white humpback whale, cool. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of whale stuff about Moo. There's a lot. Hey, Mila, had a beautiful encounter with a heron yesterday. Cool. I meet them often now. We spooked each other yesterday, and then he hid behind a bush and was watching me till finally came out and took off and flew over my head. I could see all its feathers. That's really cool. The heron are very spiritual energies. Retrospection, introspection, rather. Able to understand every layer. They're very spiritual. If they come to you, it's a definite sign of the moment that you're in this awakening, and so to listen. They present with shaman energy is a way to say it. Hi, Deb. Thursday at sunrise, no birds or sounds or birds for 1 hour. Ooh, that would be an eerie feeling. I'll bet that was strange. Yeah, we're getting a lot of these kind of things right now. It's crazy. Deb says, I started smoking again after years of not doing so. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening right now where people are having struggles, returning back to some of the things that wasn't in alignment so much, and I would say that now of any other time, this is a really good time to return to what's most in alignment with us. And I'm not saying for you to do anything or not do anything or anyone in particular. However, right now would be a time to utilize the energy present. We have this lunar eclipse, this harvest moon, and we have the equinox and this comet and all of these different galactic things occurring in the heavens that are right in front of us. And, to utilize that energy, if you have something that is important to you to switch in your life or to heal through, now is the time to put an intention toward it and to focus that energy at that time. Hello, good to see you, Marianne. Hi, all, and Pamela. Big love to y'all. Good to see you. That's why time seems not to exist in the astral realm. Exactly, because it really doesn't. Time is not fixed time, and linear time is not actually a correct assessment of what it actually is. When you go into the place where you're in the galactic world, you could look at it more like you're inside of a large sphere, a bubble, and the bubble is all things that have been, were, and are to come. And And so it's like all past, present, future simultaneous, and you can reach out and touch any moment at any given whenever at your choosing, and all things have already happened. It's the most bizarre thing. And then you come here and try to fit it into this linear time, right? However, on top of that, they do have the ability, I don't know how to explain this, but they do have the ability to also keep track of things based on things in the heavens. That's why these astral, or rather these celestial events, are so important, because that's a point, on the map where everyone can meet together. And a galactic year, yeah, is 26,000 years. That's 1 year. Like, think how much has happened this past year, man. Can you imagine if just, from last September to now was the entire 26,000 years that we've, as a species, moved through? Like, that's super fast, right? Hello, Michelle. Welcome. Good to see you. Ellen, it's good to see you too, sweetie. Mary says, hello, Star family in Minneapolis. Hot here, but felt the need to start a fire. Fires are awesome. That's so cool. I'm happy the baby girl's been hugging some trees. Trees are really cool. And like the little ones seem to be so much more in tune. Like they're really the teachers, man. I can feel the trees removing the negative energy from my whole body, and they definitely do, and they do it happily. They do not do it in a way, you're not hurting them. They do it gladly. There's a shared partnership that happens in this communication with the trees. It's really cool. For anyone who has the ability to connect with the tree, I strongly encourage you to do it, especially right now. Also, walking barefoot. Walking barefoot's really important. I know it's getting colder in some places on the planet right now, but if you can get out there and walk barefoot upon the earth, this will really, really help. I know that there's a lot of smear campaign against barefoot walking, talking about parasites and stuff. Man, most of the parasites that are in our bodies are coming. They were intentionally put into the processed food that people are consuming. And those same people were putting those parasites in the food that are making people then be addicted to that food, that processed food. Then they report, oh, look, there's parasites in your body. It's probably because you were walking barefoot. You know what I mean? Like, you have parasites. Everybody has parasites. And yes, we need to remove the parasites. However, walking barefoot will really help you right now. Walking barefoot out in the grass, on the sand, in the soil, even on the concrete is better than not doing it. This will help you. There's a process called the ionization process that your body undergoes when you go out and stand barefoot. Our body collects negatively charged ions. These negatively charged or positively charged ions, rather. And the positive, it sounds good. It's positive, right? We actually don't want those. That's that energy that sounds like, that really annoying, like ant races kind of sound, like the radio's on the wrong channel. It's in between channels, that really staticky. That's what the energy feels like when you're full of positively charged ions. And this is, I would say, the leading cause of the experience of anxiety for most people. And so if we can get out and do that, we stand barefoot in the soil. The soil gladly accepts the positively charged ions. You're then filled with negatively charged ones, and then all of a sudden you're in this peace place. It's more easy to breathe. It's quieter. It's more balanced. I strongly encourage you to do that. I got a little bit on a soapbox just then, but also you can bring soil into the house if it's too cold. Right now is the time to do it. Right, by the way, to prepare for the coming months of the colder months. If you can't get outside and put your feet in the soil, get a small bucket and bring some in. My daughter will sprinkle it on a cake pan and put her feet on it. That works just as well too. You don't need to be able to. You don't have to like be able to put your foot all the way inside. You just put your feet on top. It's the soles of your feet and also the palms of your hands. The soles of your feet have the largest pores all the pores in your body. That's why most herbal remedies can be you can be administered through a foot soak. And you can also do this by playing with the dirt with your hands. It's about twice as long for your hands. So 5 minutes with your feet, 10 minutes with your hands, a couple of times a week or every day, and also have fun. I'll do it with toys. We'll have the little Tonka trucks and stuff like the tractors and playing in the dirt. And this is play. It really helps. So yeah, thank you, Path 88. Thank you for the explanation, waking up abruptly so often lately. It really does help to understand why. Because then when we awake abruptly, then knowing that's the cause, it makes it easier for us to go, oh, I need to remember that. And then we actually do. Until we write it down and then we forget. And we go back and go, whoa, I can't believe that happened. Ram says, I'm still a new, figure things out. Good times. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff that we're still figuring out. Me too. Elizabeth, good morning from Australia. It's 5:30 a.m. Been up all night. Wow. Yeah, I've been having nights like that too. I have been having nights like that. I think I was up until almost 5 o'clock this morning. And it was just, that's where we are right now. I'm with you. Lois says, hi, is anyone noticing the new car lights that stay on during the day are green? I get I'm healing. I just went through 3 months of serious parasitic infection. Luckily, I have a holistic doctor. He was able to help me out. That's awesome. So anybody who is able to do parasite cleanses, remember, if you think about it, you can remember these stories, if not remembering it actually happening. Most people's grandmas were the ones who had the book. Usually it was in the kitchen and it was, stained and like dog-eared, and it was full of all the different things of how to purge parasites. One of the daily things that we do to purge parasites that we don't even notice we're doing is brushing our teeth. There's parasites that collect around there. Washing your eyes. We got a bunch of parasites that collect in our eyes, around our eyelashes. These aren't bad things, most of them, unless there's too many. All awesome things become unhealthy in excess, right? And it's so is true for parasites, and so they are at one point our team body, and then they become a burden. Excuse me. I've been having a lot of throat stuff lately. I don't know about anybody else. Just like that spot right there. A lot of that kind of stuff coming in. Anyway, throat chakra. I feel so stuck since yesterday. I don't want to make any decisions or even move. It makes me feel depressed sometimes and confused other times. I understand because we're letting ourselves leave behind this busy go lifestyle, and then we're trying to learn how to go with the flow and to be in this flow space. And as we go into this flow space, sometimes it's such a contrast that it's a shock on the system. And I know exactly what you're saying. This sounds like you're in some type of a version of a dark night of the soul. The solution to the dark night of the soul is shadow work. If you're interested in any of that, there's some really awesome guided meditations for shadow work that I've seen. And I've also guided people to do it too in sessions. For anyone who's interested, I do offer sessions. I have a link in the description of this video, excuse me, where I do private one-on-one sessions. I can even record it for the person and send it to them. I never use the recording for anyone else. And also we have groups that we do guided meditations, and it really does help. If it's through me or if through someone else, I encourage you definitely 100% to do some shadow work. This will really help. It really, really does. It's crazy, the burden that has lifted off of you. A lot of us have the stuff that we've hidden in the recesses of our energy for so long that we don't even realize that it's affecting us in a negative way until we go through a dark night of the soul, and it's like all pushed out into the living room. All of the contents of your entire house is all thrown into the center of the room. And then it's like, well, now what? And so doing shadow work is a way to face it head on, so it's not coming outside of nowhere and hitting you upside the head. NASA says, I was practicing my telepathy on a random toddler at the store. I looked at him and he transmitted hi. He got a big grin on his face and waved at me. He made my day. That's so cool. Man, keep it up. Keep it up. We're meant to be practicing telepathy. In a near future period, that's just how our main form of communication. In fact, spirit gets really irritated with me for my slowness because this is a human way of describing their just come on, like they're very patient, very not anything like me. But yeah, that's really cool. Good job. Hey, 333. I saw 333 or 222 when it came up. 333, you must be on the East Coast. But I did see this one. I saw 234. That was really cool. Hello, Julie. Good to see you. Welcome. Hi, Trina. Hello, Pamela. Love you. Alaska cruise was great last week, but I was so woozy and nauseous on the sea for 3 days. Stayed in my cabin. Saw 3 whales spouting. Awesome. Home now with sore throat and fever. Ooh. Sorry that you got a fever. I'm having the throat thing too right now. Like it's just really like hit me really hard. It's really interesting. So I've been noticing it a little bit for the past 2 days, yesterday and today. Like there's something going on with that. Remember, a lot of us are also year-long mucus purging right now, like around the whole calendar of the year. And that's the weirdest thing that I of all of it, I think that's really fascinating. There's some weird code about that. So the idea is that the mucus isn't something that's formed. It's something that's like a vessel, a vehicle, a sheath that's trying to push some of the stuff out of our system. That's why a lot of people are having like rashes and itchy areas of your skin. Also weird. It's not really acne, but that's what we call it. Like we call it acne because that's how we want to explain it, because there's stuff leaving our pores. And it's causing a lot of times there an itchiness or even a rash in the areas of our body. I've been noticing it around like my neck and areas like that more often, but a lot of people have been reporting like their hips and their thighs and stuff, and just on their backs, just these weird rashes. I've been getting them on my arms. The rash, just it's not a rash. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. But what I understand about this has to do with the purging. We don't realize that not only does purging happen through like, phlegm and going to the bathroom, but also it goes through our pores of all of our pores throughout our body. And so a lot of times whatever toxins being carried out through our pores is then kind of not able to come all the way out. And so it kind of deposits there, and then you need to remove it, kind of like popping a zit, but it's not a zit, if that makes sense. This is super common right now. Also, a lot of people have been experiencing this as well as myself, is of course, the increase in the ear ringing and that type of thing, but then hearing a frequency where actually it's an angelic sound. It's really pretty. And it's happened usually around, you start to hear the beginning, your ear is going to start to ring. And then there's this really beautiful angelic sound. And this is something that a lot of us have been having, especially the past week or so. During this whole like geomagnetic storm marathon that we've been having. Another thing about this too, we're noticing this unquenchable thirst, and your body needs both water and salt. I learned, I was guided by spirit that things like Gatorade is a don't do for my body. Everybody's body's different. So you do whatever it is that feels most in alignment with you. However, It's salt, and not table salt. If you can avoid table salt, the iodinized salt, it's not in alignment with our bodies typically. That just brings in more toxins for us to purge. So if you can get like, pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or whatever is affordable for you, that's the best. So, but what I do typically, where's an example? I have a little one here, just a little bit, but it's like I put a little bit of salt in a water bottle, and then I'll just take just a small drink of it in between my water. I don't sit there and chug the salt water. Salt water, and when drank in excess, will inspire vomiting, which isn't something I prefer to have happen. However, in the doses that your body needs, it will hydrate you. It will help your hydration. So that's something that really helps. That's why gardening is so relaxing, right? Because you're grounding. You're going through the ionization process when you're connecting with the soil. You're talking and connecting with the plants. If you don't have plants growing in your house, I so encourage that you do, even a little plant. You don't need anything really big and elaborate, but as the winter months come around, these really, really help us. Big plants outside are much better, of course. The bigger, the better. That's always how it goes. But if you can, like I have these little window, like herbs and stuff, and this is such a good idea to have these herbs because, like, not only do you know where they've been and what they've, there's not been pesticides and stuff like that, and you've been able to be there for the process, but there's this thing about your biosphere. Your biosphere starts in your heart center, and the farther away from your heart center that you go, the less in alignment the food that's growing in those areas is with you. So that's why, your backyard produce and the farmer's market produce is so much better. It's not only that, it's got to do with, the factory elements. It's that it was grown in your area. And what happens is food naturally grows the things that your body needs because it just knows it's in the same area you are. And so that's why a lot of farmers will put the seeds in their mouth for a while to coat it with their DNA. They'll spit on it, and everybody heard that story about somebody's uncle or grandpa that used to pee on the lemon tree that shouldn't have grown and it did, kind of thing, peeing on it, but I don't pee on my plants, but I don't have anything against peeing outside. It's the most freeing thing to do. Anyway, so if you can grow anything in your window, one of the things that's really the easiest to do is chives, like green onions, and you can just grow that in a cup of water. Over time, it will slowly become less and less desirable, but it grows itself back over. It just keeps replenishing itself as you cut away. If you can put that in soil, then it'll last a long time. Putting a little bit of that in your food every single day, eating from your biosphere, you will be so much more in alignment, so much more. Just that simple thing. And not only that, but then you're growing something in your house. You're near other plants. Like talking to the plants is a real thing. And like touching them, petting the top of them. Like rubbing your hand through just gently over its leaves. This really helps. It really, really does. People have been doing it for a long time and no one knew why, and now we understand, right? Flix Love says, yeah, feeling so much better today. Harvested some worm farm. Black soil for my plants. Love it. Oh, cool. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. What is it called? Worm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's that. So, it's really awesome fertilizer. And I get it too. I have some in the other room, but I'm not going to go run away and leave you all hanging. But this is really good to put it with your plants. It's the best fertilizer. It's basically worm droppings. The worms go through and they eat whatever, and they turn it into this awesome soil. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I do love it. It's really good. I was up till 7 a.m. Yeah, there you go. See, man, we're all doing it. And we're not, I would say that I'm getting some things done, but for the most part, we put up a Christmas tree. So there was this sale for artificial Christmas trees, and I was like, well, we're going to need one. We usually get the artificial ones. And, we didn't really get to do our normal holiday stuff lately because we've been typically we'll celebrate Christmas at the solstice, and anyway, we got the tree because it's on sale before the season starts, and we just put it up, and then it's just become this thing. My mom used to do that. There's this thing about her, and she just loved Christmas, so it's kind of like homage to my mom. And we put some Halloween decorations in it, so it's a Halloween tree. And man, is it irritating my neighbors. You're not supposed to do that. It's like, I make the rules. I'm the grown up. But just so because of that, it inspired, I don't know if it's because of that, but that inspired like this whole, like we were shifting around the furniture and changing in the whole house. And I'm doing this in the middle of the night. And it's awesome because I don't have any upstairs or downstairs neighbors here. So it's like, I can do that and it won't disrupt anybody, but that's really funny. These are the types of things I want to do. Starting around midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, let's do this, And so that's one of the things that we did when we put up the Christmas tree. So I think it's pretty funny. Path 88, laugh out loud. Even Paula was annoyed with the groomer. Fur baby Ascension. Yeah. The fur babies are having serious Ascension symptoms too. For those who are having their dogs, cats, emus, whatever, fill in the blank. The fur babies are in disruption right now also. If they're acting out and acting weird. Not only that, but what happened recently, a couple of months ago, something that I noticed, I think it was in March, something shifted. We shifted globally enough that before, when people passed away, when people died, they would go somewhere and they stopped going anywhere. They stayed. And then I realized where they used to go, we're at now. We're there. And so, because what will usually happen after someone passes, then they hang out for a little while and then they go off, and then they're gone for a while, and then they kind of come back, so our little fur babies are also seeing these guys, and they're starting to notice us in ways that they didn't notice us before too. I don't know if it's us noticing them that inspires them noticing us, where we kind of blend into the background until then or something. But anyway, so there's a lot of activity with the animals right now. A lot of these animals are coming out of the forest and just coming to us. It's really weird. It's kind of freaking my neighbor out. It's kind of funny. But because there's always animals around me, I go outside regularly. I don't like to be in the box, like the house, the buildings. I have to take breaks from being in the box. And so what I do is I go outside. No matter the time of year, the season, the weather that's happening, I go outside, and it's crazy, the animals that are coming to me right now. And they just need comfort. They're coming from out of the forest. They're coming from all over the place. I have a little skunk friend now that lets me pet him. It's really cute. It's really muscular. These skunks are super muscular. It's crazy. They're like cats on steroids with extra fluffy fur. Yes, throat chakra activations. Yeah, dude. It's crazy, some of this throat chakra stuff we've got going on right now. Rose says, I've noticed that singing raises my energy from exhaustion. Yes, it does. Good job. Thank you for bringing this up. And seems to quickly transmute stagnant energy. I think it takes me into a higher vibration. This has helped me, this has been helping the last couple of days. This helps really a lot. I'm so glad you brought this up. I do this without even thinking about it anymore. There's an energy of play that comes in. We use it when we sing, and we're connecting naturally to these higher frequency places, especially if we're singing kind of like just in the moment. What's the right word? Where it's not like a scripted, song. I allow myself to deviate from, like, for instance, I'll be singing a popular song perhaps, and I'll let myself deviate from the words they wrote. Kind of, I guess, Weird Al Yankovic style, but on my own, like, awesome, happy way, and not like downing anybody or anything. And it's fun too, because when you let yourself do this, then all of a sudden these messages start getting channeled through your voice too. It's really cool. Also, I just saw what Janet wrote. Now I've forgotten the word. It's like chanting. What's the word? Oh my goodness, I've forgotten. Toning. Yes, and humming. When we do this, especially, I found the most powerful time to do it is during the setting sun. As the sun sets, allow yourself to do toning. It's like chanting or humming, but we're using your voice, like your mouth, like it's not real words. Some people could even call it light language, I guess, in a way, where you're just kind of making noises. When you're letting yourself do that in the setting sun energy, man, the activations that happen, you feel it through your whole body. A lot of us will realize that we're meant to actually make noises, to hum, to chant, to that actually vibrates our heart chakra area. We're also, another practice that you can do to help this is laughing when you're holding your breath. If that makes sense. We are like, you're expanding and deflating your lungs in this, like, you're laughing kind of way, and it activates stuff in your heart chakra and makes it possible to access this level of happiness, joy, and love that raises your frequency in such a profound and lasting way that it's just unmatched. These things are such high. Thank you for bringing that up. Because I don't even think about the fact that I'm doing it, yeah, it's so powerful. Yeah, your voice is a powerful healer. That's right, Kenny. When I was spending time with a yew tree, I noticed how many insects, birds, and mosses were living on it. That's cool. Being supported by it, like a whole I like that universe. It's about balance. Feel we are learning to rebalance our systems. That's cool. Yeah, definitely we are. We really are. Everybody else seems to be doing, like, everybody else, meaning like the animals and the trees and the plants and different things. They're all already doing it. And we're just like the ones that are catching up, but that's really, I like the universe. I really like that wording. That was fun. That's really cool. And that's true. And we do it on autopilot when we don't let ourselves get in the way of ourselves. When we get out of our own way is a way to say it. Yeah, just realized, just didn't realize how much till recently. Exactly. Man, it's so cool to use your voice. Using your voice, especially when in the nature space. So, like Lynn's example of being with this yew tree, which, man, that's so cool. You could be next to a yew tree. I've always wanted to see a yew tree in person. And then also, using your voice frequency simultaneously. Hello, New Beginnings. Good to see you. It's just awesome. It's such a powerful tool, and then to be grounding at the same time, saying you're barefoot right then. Perhaps you have your feet standing on the massive roots of a tree and your hand placed upon the tree while you're making these beautiful sounds, perhaps even during sunset. I mean, come on. You can't put together a more perfect balancing, healing moment right then. With the intention, you're knowing what you're doing, saying what you're doing out loud often helps. This is, I'm coming into the ceremony, to align this or to balance that. And when we do that, it makes it so much more profound of an experience, and it lets everyone in audience, so like the tree and the energies that are all present, know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then they'll jump in and help out. So it's really cool. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. Whoops. I keep clicking that side button on accident, and it's there we go. I've had some throat stuff too. Yeah, it's weird. It's this weird back tickle. I don't I haven't, it's not a common thing for me to experience, so it's kind of weird. 111 in the YouTube chat. I think when you said that, there was when we had 120 total. There's some coming in from Facebook too. That's really cool. 111. Have an ear infection for weeks, struggling to go away. This has been something I've been hearing a lot about too. And the mucus, this mucus stuff together with it, like it's fascinating to compare notes because people talk about the cold season, and the cold season is supposed to have something to do with, um, being in a colder time, and all this stuff. However, it doesn't matter where on the planet. If it's in a tropical region, it's full on summer, and they're also having a cold season. I find that really fascinating. It starts to make you wonder what the cold season really is and why it is. Hey, speaking of the tropics, hello, Elsa Dillon. Elsa is going to be joining me for this show. This week, I'll be doing my show on Thursday, for the Northern Hemisphere, and it's going to be Friday for the Southern Hemisphere. It'll be at the same time we normally do. It's going to be a fun conversation. I'm really looking forward to this chat. Elsa has some pretty amazing code. We get a chance to sometimes chat, but not very often, not as often as I'd like, because due to the amount of code that's coming in. So, yeah, Mila lights up Street with the Tree. Yeah, no, it's so funny. My neighbors are so confused. Why do you have a Christmas tree up? It's got pumpkins in it. Global, or energy is global indeed. Yeah, they are trying to assist. They are staying to assist us through. Yes, yes, yeah. And there's a lot. It's a lot of crazy stuff happening right now. And so, just taking back the reins and choosing to stand in your power and make your own decisions for you based on what's correct for you, instead of what others say is correct, is really the moment that we're in. And I think that for me, the Christmas tree was an example of that. Whatever it is, we're taking our power back and we're getting to be who we are in our true form. Path 88, as fast as time is going, Christmas will be here super quick. I know. I know. It's crazy how fast everything's going. Humming helps raise energy too. That's right. Spontaneous. Good morning. Good to see you. I'm just getting ready to close up. Kylie, I like that. That's cute. I'm just getting ready to close up here, though. I am. Oh, it's a birthday. Someone's got a birthday. I saw that at the end here. Hi, everyone. Morning in Australia. Have a great day. It's my birthday. Sending love and light. Happy birthday to you. Man, having your birthday so close to Equinox. That's interesting. I'll bet you have interesting birthdays. Okay, before I get going, I got these 303. I would like to take a moment to remind everybody of the energy we're in right now. So we just got a CME, or a solar flare, left the sun on the eastern limb, though, because we're so close to the equinox. The equinox is in exactly 1 week from today. The equinox every year brings the sun and the earth into more of an alignment. There's the Russell McPherson or something like that. I've already forgotten. Anyway, so what happens is the sun and the earth are usually kind of not quite aligned. They're just kind of off from each other. And then during the eclipse, or excuse me, then during the equinox, they line up a lot more. And so any energy that we get from the sun during the time of equinoxes is like, whoa, right? Okay, we just got this X class 4.54 solar flare. And they had said that they thought it wouldn't be here until Thursday. Now it's coming tomorrow. It's lining up with the lunar eclipse, the full moon on Tuesday/Wednesday, depending on where you are on the planet. And this lunar eclipse that's happening on that day is a super powerful energy too. We've got a lot going on right now. We just moved through the 9/11 and the Friday the 13th and all this stuff, and here we are. So a lot of us are going to be feeling a lot more a lot more of this stuff, as we get closer to this time. So right now is the time to go ground. If you can go put your feet, even if it's raining, man, I would strongly encourage you, if you're if you live in a place that's a colder region on the planet, to bring soil in and to do it now, or relatively soon, while you still have the luxury of the heat of the warmer times. Um, and then just have it available to you so you can put your feet in it during the winter months. And this will help ionize, or help you through the ionization process. Um, and for right now, to do these grounding activities, um, I know for people who choose to engage in fasting are doing that right now. We talked about that a little bit. Feeling hungry, but just no appetite. Our bodies are naturally choosing to go into a place of fasting during these energy shifts as they occur. Also, this really cool comet's getting closer and brighter, and it's going to continue to do so. Though for the southern hemisphere, for those of you in Australia, New Zealand, and all this stuff, you're going to see it really well soon. And that's going to last for about 2 weeks on your side, and then it's moving back over to us. And by October 10th, by the 1010 portal, it's for the northern hemisphere. It's going to be brighter than any star in the night sky. It's going to be really cool. And that's going to last for a couple of days, and then it's going to start to slowly get less and less bright. Anyway, keeping that in mind, we're in a lot of stuff going on right now. It's going to be really cool, though. So extra water, rest, and just take it easy on yourself if you can. Be gentle with yourself. A lot of the times we forget that, we need to first fill our cup up before we can feed the others around us from this cup. So taking the rest, taking extra breaks, and eating. If you're eating with intention, it really helps. Intentional eating, meaning we're including herbs, we're including things that are considered, vitamins. What we're eating, medicine. Carrots weren't before. Carrots weren't like part of food. They were purple and they were medicine. People didn't actually like them, but you ate them if you had to, as medicine. There's a lot of things like that. People, I think, a lot of times have forgotten that the point of a lot of these things, these foods, was for medicine. You know what I mean? And we've started to identify comfort food as food, when it doesn't have to be super duper duper tasty, but you find that your body will enjoy the flavor of it if it needs it. So anyway, I'm sending you all so much love. You got this. We're gonna be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride. I'm going to be leading a private group meditation later today, and I'll post that up in the Telegram group. If you're part of our Telegram group, I'll post it up for free for you to do after, as a recording, audio recording. This will help us in the grounding of it. And if not for that, please, I encourage you to find any other way of engaging in meditation. It doesn't have to be done with me. So I love you all. Thank you for your service, and don't give up. I know right now it feels really rocky and really crazy, but this is the exciting part. Here comes some pretty amazing stuff. So